It's Tomas the Hedgehog here, my way past cool crew. And this is the Tomas Times Podcast. So this is going to be a kind of a starter podcast. This is going to be the first episode of this of the Tomas Times Podcast. And if you are listening to this, thank you for viewing. So and, and, and as you might have noticed recently, the Disney princess craze has kind of been out of control recently with the introduction of the Disney princesses. And, I just wanted to just shed light on this whole Disney princess phenomenon that's going on in our society right now. So, the princesses, being like Cinderella, Snow White, Belle, Ariel, and Jasmine, have kind of just dominated the whole gender market a little bit, and the princess franchise has kind of been rising up in popularity ever since little girls come out of the Disney store wearing all these little tiaras, these little dresses, the little shoes, the little carriages, and the dolls. Especially with Sophia the First on Disney Junior, that's kind of boosting up the whole princess vibe going on here. So, but what about the cartoons? What about the cartoons that people kind of don't really talk about that much anymore, because considering they're focusing on the princess stuff, and and as an animal lover myself, I'm pretty shocked that people are focusing on the princesses rather than the animals. As you might know, Disney princesses often are weird with animals. They sing in this high-pitched voice, and they have all these little animals floating around them, and it's just kind of cringeworthy, in my opinion, at least. I'm just going to talk about the first animations that the Disney company has created. Okay, so our first character on this list is Oswald, and many people don't really know who Oswald is, and he's one of Disney's very first creations, way before Mickey Mouse came on screen in the 1920s. It was a rabbit. It was owned by Universal Studios before the rights of Oswald got sold to Universal Studios. That means Walt Disney they snatched the rights away from him. So Oswald was a cartoon that kind of was the building blocks for Mickey Mouse. It was created out of necessity. I think they just picked the name Oswald from a hat up, to be quite honest with you guys. So Oswald was a rabbit, and he got into trouble, but he got off Currency and Whitley. There were only like 26 Oswald cartoons throughout Oswald's run, and the Universal Pictures they got rid of Oswald because they sold it off to Universal, so Universal owns Oswald. But thankfully, they got him back. The Disney company bought the rights of Oswald back, so hopefully in the future Oswald can star in more Disney projects. I really wish they could have used Oswald more in the Disney company. And then after Oswald, Walt was cartoonless. He didn't have a cartoon character that he can work with. So, iWorks and Walt Disney kind of created this character in secret. They wanted to make sure that Walt owned the rights to this character instead of his new character being taken away from some other company like Warner Brothers or Universal or MGM. So they created this mouse character whose name was Mickey, and then created all the way in 1928. Sorry, Um, so yeah, he was not really an overnight success. He wasn't really a. What I'm saying is he wasn't really that much of a success overnight. Um, I'm just saying that he was playing crazy. His first short, kind of there was a prototype design of Mickey Mouse with these big overly eyes and no pants, no shoes, and that design didn't stick around. So when Steamboat Willie came along, Mickey performed his iconic whistle at the front of the steamboat where Pete was driving it, and it was the first cartoon to have a synchronized sound. It really was a big evolution for cartoons at the time because Walt wanted to prove cartoons weren't just a passing trend. It was not like, oh, cartoons don't really mean anything. No, cartoons really meant something. They meant to teach you a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of genres that cartoons can come through, by drama, horror, comedy, and all those are different genres of cartoons. So I believe Walt really pioneered with Steamboat. Really changed history with when Steamboat Willie was released. So yeah, that was the whole phenomenon of the Mickey era. Then Mickey's love interest was Minnie Mouse. This character was created and to coincide with Mickey to give him so he wasn't like lonely throughout the entire short. Minnie also started playing crazy, but her first appearance was Steamboat Willie. She kind of sang along with Mickey Mouse. Uh, she had the flower in the hat, like the dress and the high heels. She really looked like a little lady in a skirt. Her voice was very feminine. Was very. I mean, Walt Disney. I think Walt Disney voiced Minnie Mouse until they got a female voice actor to play Minnie Mouse. But for at the time, Walt didn't really think of voice acting. He did all the voice acting work himself. Well, iWorks I think did the animation. So that's probably said and done. She surely loved Mickey throughout the shorts. Um, um, she loved Mickey, and there was this one time that Minnie was in love with Mortimer Mouse from the short Mickey's Rival. But I think Minnie was better off with Mickey Mouse. So I think Mickey and Minnie are a perfect Disney couple. They really are the mascots of the Walt Disney Company, and I think they really are just a phenomenal couple. And then Donald Duck came in around the 30s. Um, he was known for his temper, his short fuse, and he always kind of let me just say this kind of I don't know how to say Donald's. I know he was a tempered duck, but they created him as a result to kind of too many taboos placed on the Mickey Mouse, and people didn't believe that Mickey can blow his top. Didn't really blow his top off like the duck, but to give the Walt Disney Company a little attitude, they created this little duck. He was just like a sailor with the sailor hat and the and the bow tie and the sailor hat. I mean, he tried to be a gentleman to Daisy Duck. There's these shorts where Donald is trying to impress Daisy Duck, but his temper kind of gets in the way, and so he kind of fails to capture the attention of Daisy Duck a little bit there. So that's what that's what that's what that's what kind of what happened to Donald Duck. And finally, we have the anthropomorphic dog characters. Pluto was in the Chain Gang, short in 1930. It starred Mickey Mouse. They were in this prison setting, and they were chained up to each other like a chain and ball. They were breaking rocks because of work in prison, and then they started singing it. And at the Pete was the nemesis because Pete was usually the villain in the early Mickey shorts in the 20s and 30s. And the Pluto there was like a beta Pluto because he was like a bloodhound. And then the Alpha Pluto was basically like the regular Pluto that you see in the Disney shorts. And and so yeah. And last but not least, it's Goofy. Now Goofy was around the 1930s along with Donald. Um, Goofy came along under the prototype name Dippy Dog, and then he was changed to Goofy a couple years later. I believe Goofy was like the most loved out of the Disney characters because of his stupidity, but he had a heart. Even though he was kind of stupid in most of the shorts, he had a heart. He had a heart of gold. He has his son Max in the. Most people remember Goofy from Goof Troop, and the Goofy movie with Roxanne and Max, his son, and Pete and Pete Jr. Goofy and Max go on this father and son road trip, and then Max doesn't like it, and so he kind of tricks Goofy into going to L.A. to see this big movie star. I mean, I watched the Goofy movie, I think, a long time ago, and I remember it fondly. I mean, I saw the Extremely Goofy movie back in the day, and that was a fun movie. I really liked it, even though I don't really like Disney nowadays. I can appreciate some of the projects that Goofy was in. And so Walt Disney, he was a smart man. He was a talented, smart man. I mean, he had a rocky life. He had a rough life. I mean, back then he had to go through a lot of crap. He had to go through lots of just family problems and just getting broke, starting companies that would go bankrupt, and I mean, he was rejected. His cartoons were rejected a lot of times before Mickey Mouse came around. I mean, you talking about a guy who just went through just bad luck. I mean, but out of all that, he created Mickey Mouse and Oswald. I think Mickey Mouse and Oswald were like the two big successes to Walt. I mean, the world kind of sometimes, again with the princesses, the world just kind of sometimes neglects to remember Disney's creations. Incredible animals creations. I'm saying this because the Princess franchise has gotten a little too popular, I'm guessing, because of the whole Disney World aspect. That's another topic for another day. Disney World, and I mean Disney. I mean, girls nowadays. I know girls nowadays know who Minnie Mouse is, but the girls are really just focusing on the princess stuff, like the other Disney films that were released. I mean, for example, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, all these princess films. The girls usually storm off to the Disney princesses. So I think the world really needs to recognize there's more than Disney than just princesses.